Now, before we get into this video, you need to realize something. When I say good guys, I'm meaning the anti-heroes of GTA, because in GTA, nobody's really a quote-unquote good guy. Today in this video, I'm going to be going over good guys turn bad in GTA 6. Welcome back to GTA 6 Hub. Let's get into the video. Let's start off with a man who we all know pretty well. At least I hope you did. You didn't kill him, you savage. Michael DeSanta is one of the most prominent characters in GTA history, not only because he is a GTA protagonist, well, one of the three in GTA 5, but he is still one of the best characters in general with a great story. A man who sold out his friends in order to save his family. He will clearly do anything to save them, although it could be argued that he's really learned the value of friendship and how friends can even be family in GTA 5. I still think this man would do anything to protect his family. And that leads me into my point for Michael being one of the people who will turn into a bad boy. Well, what does a man with nothing to lose do? He does whatever he can. And Michael is not exactly the most sane person anyways, so there's two scenarios that could happen here. One, Michael's family is held captive and he has to work for somebody else to save them, which would not surprise me. Or two, Michael's family is killed and he loses his mind, becoming Trevor 2.0. Hell, they could even team up and then make one of the most chaotic teams to ever exist in history of video games or in real life ever. I mean, could you imagine that much damage? No, thank you. Next up, we have Lester, and it turns out a lot of these people will do anything for money, so don't be too surprised by anybody on this list. Lester is a world-renowned hacker who stays in the dark and is pretty good, but, you know, his spine's a little bit messed up. That's about the worst about Lester, though. He's awkward, he's funny, and he's, a great hacker, so that's all you really need to be a really prominent character like this. Anyways, it's pretty easy to know that Lester would do anything for money, seeing as how he literally robs banks, which have money. And his only thing he does is pretty much, just hacks. So, of course, somebody could look to him play Lester as long as they know him. And if Michael DeSanta is an evil guy like I was guessing in the first point, then he knows Lester has connections, can give out his information, and suddenly, boom, bam, Lester is now a contracted hacker, which could turn against you as a GTA 6 protagonist, because I don't foresee them using any of these people on this list as a protagonist. They just don't do that. Rockstar does not repeat protagonists. But one thing you can always keep in mind is Lester may be a villain in this next game, or he may be a good guy who your contracts or contacts hire him to help you. So it could go either way, side of the coin flip for sure, and again, keep an open mind with all these. Next up is Tony Prince, and a lot of people don't ever really mention Tony because he's irrelevant in most cases, but Tony is a big-time nightclub owner. He's owned properties in Liberty City, and he helps you buy one in Los Santos. Well, what would a man do to protect his business? That's right, anything, especially when his whole life revolves around it. I mean, do you guys remember the DLC from GTA 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony, where Luis would literally do anything for Tony, which included killing and doing all that cool stuff? Maybe Tony isn't the one doing the killing, but he could definitely be the one pulling the strings and doing whatever it takes to get the job done and protect his business, and maybe even promote other businesses that he might do, drugs. And that's a scary thought, because Tony is a man who has a lot of influence, he knows a lot of people, and if Luis comes back, well, let's just say the GTA 6 protagonist is in for a fight if they decide to go to the dark side. That was my best Darth Vader impersonation. Sorry, I'm not on a ventilator. Next up, we have Sweet, and a lot of you might not know who Sweet is because it's really not a mentioned name, but he's Carl Johnson's brother from GTA San Andreas. As a leader of the Grove Street Boys, it's very obvious that he would do anything to protect his entire gang and even his brother. So, should something happen to CJ and drive him insane, or should his entire livelihood be put at stake, I could see Sweet turning to the dark side and becoming a very big villain. Now, this would be really bad because since the events of GTA San Andreas, I'm sure the gang has grown immensely. And with that much firepower against one person or three people, considering that they might use their protagonist again, it could be very hard to beat Sweet and his entire gang. Let alone if Carl comes up, I think the protagonist is just done at that point. There's going to have to be some plot twists and turns and some very big power spikes here, but I think we might be able to see Sweet being a very, very, very good antagonist. Well, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know if you agree down in the comments below, because it's a very hot take. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like on the video, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.